Hello, today's Aquila University. We will be discussing eStability, which is for the 20th century what ECT was for solutions in the 20th century. We are recording this session. If you have any problems with your username, your question, and certainly your answer showing up on our website, disconnect now, and you will receive an email when the training is available for free on the website. My name is Otwell, and I founded Aquila Solutions in 2010. Since then, we've been on the forefront of adopting and new technologies and assisting various sponsors to transition to current and upcoming technologies. For we will be discussing some trends in electronic submissions. We'll discuss what eStability actually is. We'll talk a little about implementation, and there will be some time for questions, and then of course we'll tell you what our next Aquila University will be. So what is happening with electronic submissions? It began in 2000 with the eCTD standard being finalized by ICH. It has been in development for some time, but accepted as the final standard again in 2000. A couple of updates, and in 2003 was accepted as the FDA standard. So undergoing updates, and there's the expectation sometime end of 2016, 2017, that the eCTD version 4, also known as RPS, will be finalized, and we can all start looking forward to that. In addition to eCTD, the FDA started to develop SPL. Well, it was the HL7 that developed the SPL standard, and is now in version 4 and is used for just about everything that's not an application. And at the same time, CDISC was founded in 1997. It's been developing a variety of standards, the being SDTM, which was released end of 2003. It has Atom, Send, Lab, C-, all sorts of other standards, and are developing even more. Electronic submissions is a very fast-moving target. So now, we submit applications electronically, we can submit linking electronically, do clinical adverse events, all sorts of stuff. And because the XML standard is extremely flexible, it'll allow you to submit just about any information that's both computer and human readable. Well, the standard XML language has been used for, again, eCTD, SPL, and CDISC. So CMC has been really excluded from the fun of new standards. That up until very recently, when FDA released the intention of developing an eStability standard. This is a net, and very similar to the SPL format, but has different lists of values and things like that, so it doesn't truly overlap SPL at this point. The nature of this is that the flexibility, it has the same flexibility as SPL, and so it should be able to accommodate all stability information, while at the time being easy for the FDA to maintain. So what is eStability. Fundamentally, it is a standard that allows you to submit the specifications for your stability protocols, along with the actual results, the detailed results of all the stability data you are developing for your product. The reason it's important, it allows the FDA to easily take your stability reports for issues and combine them with other similar products to potentially identify safety risks that wouldn't be apparent otherwise. To do this, they have to manually transcribe the report data out and into some sort of database. This is very work intensive and error prone, so it's not very, they don't really do that right now, but an addition to the safety of products to be able to do so. Now, very early standard. At this point, a style sheet has been released back in September 2012, but it hasn't really been advanced beyond that. So it dictates how data is displayed. And we can show you what that would look like. So this would be what an eStability XML, when you open it up in a web browser, would look like. Obviously data here, but you can imagine how it would be filled in. Different identification codes, things like that. Study numbers, protocol numbers, manufacturing. The specification section, there are all the tests, what finds acceptance, the analytical procedure you use. So, for instance, is it a USP procedure, an procedure, that sort of thing, or is it an internal one? And are there any component, what components it tests? And then finally, we have the same interval. So dates, things like that. Since we don't have any data, it also have a data table showing the results of a 40 period. So each dot, each sampling period would show you how many would be all in one document and easy to compare. You can making this and doing a quick search for all specific USP procedures and comparing the results, how many things pass it or fail it, every single product that uses that procedure. That's what they're looking forward to. Implementation. Do 4 explicitly calls for the development of eStability, or it actually calls for the development of an electronic method of collecting stability data, which has termed eStability. The style sheet, which we just looked at, was developed, and the FDA developed an internal database and supporting systems to be able to use this data. So they created some place to store the data and some programs to use that in a constructive way. Now, they are planning a pilot study. They have not yet started it, but still under development. They're still looking at it. So what this means is you do have some time before implementation, but it's important to keep this in mind because things will be coming up faster than you can imagine. Now, actually implementing it, eStability uses the same structure as SPL, you can really expect it to run the same cost range as an SPL. And what that means is, $100 to $200 per XML, per eStability XML, and doing something really unusual. There will be publishing systems, or you can outsource. There's the standard options that all eStations have available. Again, right, there are no publishing systems because this is not a finalized standard, but I'm certain one will be releasing one about as the standard is released. The goal is for the eStability XMLs to be included inside your application, specifically inside the 3.2p8 or of course the 3.2p7.3 for AI data. Included in your application just like anything else, except instead of a PDF, which you get now, it'll be this XML. At this point, questions? If there are no questions, then you will join us for our next topic. We will be discussing paper to eCTD conversions. This is ideal because as of May 5th, 2017, the FDA will not accept paper for any approved drug, ABLA or ANDA. And some of the advantages of eCTD over paper, the regional requirements. Of course, we will go into some depth on the process. This training June 3rd, 2016, and we will have some time for questions at the end. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to email